There's no easy way to talk about this, so I'm just going to come out with what I need to say. My dad passed away yesterday at 9:10. I went back to England last week to spend time with the family and to spend time with him. And the very first day I saw him, he seemed so weak and so tired and very ill. I visited him every day in the hospital, and by the end of the week, it was like he was pulling through. He was getting his energy back, he was getting his personality back. Everything seemed so positive, and we were also hopeful that perhaps one day, through some miraculous turn of events, he would just be back to how he was. The day before I left the UK to come back, he was so healthy looking in comparison to the first day, and we all had this spark in our hearts that he'd pulled through. We left the hospital that day with huge smiles on our faces, and then got a phone call from the doctor the next morning, the day when I was about to leave England, with hope in my heart that he had taken a turn for the worse and we should come back immediately and see him again in the hospital. So that's what we did. Me and my brothers, we all shot back there, confused really, because from what we'd seen, it was only a matter of time before he would be out, and yet there he was. Nurses saying to us that they were doing everything they could to make him feel comfortable. I didn't even question it anymore. I felt like I just needed to be quiet and spend time there and hold his hand, and so that's what we did. I whispered into my dad's ear, "All your sons are here." And that was the first time in the whole week that all of us had visited him at the same time. He didn't go straight away. From that moment onwards, he perked up. He saw us all. His heart rate rose. They took the mask off him so that he could talk and he could say some things to us again. And it was like he pulled through one more time. Even the doctors were confused. They'd obviously called us to let us know that we needed to be there, and then all of a sudden he seemed to be in good health again. So that morning I said to Dad, "Somehow you've done it again. I'm going to go back to Portugal, get my baby girl, get my wife, and in a few weeks' time we'll drive back." It was that night that I got a message from my brother saying that he'd passed away, he didn't make it. He said that the last thing that he said before he died was a message for me, a personal message just for me. And I'm always going to remember the words that he said. I'm always going to use them to better myself. My family is there to support me, and they're there to love me no matter where I choose to go. It was my dad's 82nd birthday, and the day after was the day that he passed away. But 2 years ago, my dad suffered from a stroke, and he recovered from it miraculously. At that time, I made such an effort to be more present. Because of that, I made a tribute video to him. It was a powerful message and a powerful video, so I'd like to show it now. When you look deep into a person's eyes, do you see just one man sitting in front of you? Or can you feel more, like a sense of origin to their character? Behind my eyes, you'll find this man, a father, a teacher, and a friend. With roots that stem from Arabia, and a story that led him from Mombasa to London. This man's dream to be an architect in England was the origin of my story. Last year, my father suffered from a stroke. And at 80 years old, I could only assume the worst. It turns out my dad is a survivor. Part of the reasons why I live such a fulfilling life now is because of the support and encouragement I got from my father and mother. No matter how outrageous my ambitions have been, they never put me down and they always encouraged it. I wake each day with a passion for life, eager to see the world with my wife. To get this second chance to show my mum and dad how to feel alive is a priceless treasure. To lead them to places that they never even knew existed. To walk through the ruins of cities that are actually linked to our history. Believe me when I tell you, I am savouring every moment that I've been given with them. This world is a magical place. And if you're able enough to go out and see it, you have to seize that opportunity. I thank my parents for letting me choose my own path, even if that journey took us to the other side of this world. I don't want to just be alive. I want to live. I don't regret any of the choices that I've made since a very long time. The moment I was given the second chance to spend more time with my dad after such a shocking change in his health from the stroke, we really did our best. Sasha and I, we tried everything in our power to make sure that if we were going to experience something new and they could come with us, my mum and my dad, that we would do that with them. That was our gift. We're not wealthy people, but we do live through experiences, and the things that we could offer, we really made the most of it through our travels, driving all over Thailand in that old car with my dad and taking him places that he would never have gone on his own. Those are such good experiences, such treasures that I'm never going to forget. One of my most powerful memories will always be when we went on a hike to a waterfall in Chiang Rai, Thailand. My dad wasn't sure if he was even capable of doing it, but because we said, let's just go, he shocked us with his abilities. We were so moved. And not just us. Following that day, after that video was published, we had so many emails and messages and comments from people around the world that have been inspired by my dad's resilience and just his attitude to life. That's something special. And that was always something that if we had the power to give to him, we did. And I feel really good about doing that for him. One of my dad's dreams, one of his biggest regrets, he said to me, would be if he was to pass away without ever seeing a grandchild from one of us boys. I remember the day he said it. It was maybe 7 years ago when Sasha and I were still way too far back on our path to consider having a baby. When we decided that we wanted to have a child, I was so happy when everything aligned for him to be able to come out one last time, one last adventure to Portugal, to see this new life that we're starting here and this new life we've started in the world. Story Ember. It would have been such a shame if he hadn't managed to come and see his baby granddaughter. Just the smile on his face and in his eyes when he saw baby Story for the first time was something you couldn't recreate, something you can't fake. I knew at that point that this was the right time for us to be doing this. This was the right time to share such a powerful thing. A gift of life. On the last day before I left England, hopeful to come back to Portugal, I asked my dad if he would record a message for Story, just something tiny, within his abilities at the stage of health that he was at. And he did this for me. Can you say hello to Story? This is your granddad?
Hello to Story. I'm sorry I'm not well, but I will see you soon. Bye.
I don't think it's all fully sunk in that he's not here anymore. Right now, inside my heart, despite grieving, I do feel happy. My dad was a very good man, he was, and he was an amazing father. I can't fault the way he raised me. I can't fault the way he dealt with me when I was difficult. When I made decisions he couldn't understand, it didn't matter. Both my mum and my dad have always been encouraging, so much so that I've managed to live a life of contentment in the last 5 years. I've really learned what it is about myself and about my life that makes me happy. Their emotional support of that is a big part of who I am today. So whatever belief system we have in this world, I know that my dad is good and he deserved good things and he had a good life. I love you, Dad. You are an amazing man and an amazing father. Thank you for everything you did for me in my life.